Hi YouTube, here's my 2003 Numatic James JVH180. I got this off Gumtree a couple of weeks ago. Originally I got a James JVP180 off eBay about a month ago, maybe now, maybe a bit less. But it's basically the same as this one, except it had a little kettle lead design on the end of the cord and it just plugged in at the back, whereas on this model the cord is wired straight into the back of the cleaner and straight to the switch and the motor. But anyway, I prefer this style because it makes it easier to wrap up the cord, and I'll show you why in a minute. But anyway, I'll give you an overview. So it has the older style floor tool with the sharp neck and the twin pedals. And on the back it's got one lint picker and little suction channels at the front there. And it does have suction channels all the way across to help carry the suction across the nozzle. Doesn't really work that well, but you know, you can push one pedal and it pushes the brushes down for hard floors, and you press the other one, it retracts them for cleaning carpets. And being the James, it's a stripped down version of the Henry basically. It has the aluminium tubes. Now for some reason on these older style aluminium tubes they have this bulbous part here where the tubes slot into each other. I'm not sure if that makes the tubes easier to remove, because I've used a I think it was a NRV200, the commercial version of Henry, and for some reason they come with the aluminium tubes, but it was a newer style and the tube was all one diameter all the way up, so it didn't have this bulbous part near the top, and it tended to stick together and was really hard to part the tubes. So I think with it making it bulbous here makes it easier to part. I don't know why they don't still do that, but anyway. It's got the newer style suction relief valve. I don't know why. Maybe that's a replacement curved grip, I don't know. So it has the short hose cuff. However, it has a screw-on hose. Now, usually with the James of this style, you'd see a bayonet hose which pushes in and twists to lock in place. Now with this being quite an older style of James like this, maybe that this is original to have a screw-in hose. Maybe the earlier ones had a screw-on hose like that, I don't know. But either way, it's still a genuine pneumatic hose, and I do prefer this hose, to be honest. It looks a bit nicer. Anyway, it's got the transfer face, of course, plastic bumper, and James is written in outlined in black. On the James bucket it's slightly different to the Henry one. It's not as tall and it has these little cut-out sections where the front wheels are. Don't know why they did that, but there you go. So it has black clips to hold the motor unit onto the bucket. Has the rubber coated wheels with the wheel caps, and of course the stabiliser. And it has the two rear exhausts on the sides there. Of course it has a fixed handle, and without stating the obvious, even though I'm going to, it doesn't have a cord rewind. You just basically have to wrap it around the top in here. I do see a lot of different ways people wrap these up. They either wrap it round inside the caddy bit there, or they'll wrap it round the outside like that, or they'll even coil it round their arms and just shove it through the handle. There's all sorts of ways you can wrap these up, but anyway. It has again a very common square plug that Numatic use. The cord is about 10 metres, it might be a little bit longer, it could be 12 metres, All I know is that it's a really long cord. So, this is what's different about this style James. The older Jameses, the cord was just wired straight into the back of the machine and went straight to the motor and the switch. But on the later Jameses, they added this little kettle lead type thing which they called plugged, and there was little contacts on the top there, and you just plugged it into it, so it made it easier to change the cord. But personally I prefer this style one because it makes it easier to wrap up. Well, if you wrap it up inside like I do, as you can see the cord will sit flat at the bottom like that, but with the plugged version it comes up to like here, so the cable ends up sitting up here and it looks a mess, and it's not very easy to wrap it around. So that's why I prefer this one that goes straight into the back like that. So here's the rating sticker. So it says Numatic International Limited, when it focuses, Chad, England, TA20, 2GB, and the model number is JVH180. Now I have a friend that rather jokingly said that the H stands for homosexual, because apparently James is the little gay one, which I thought was quite humorous. But no, it actually stands for hardwired, because apparently in the electrical industry, if something is wired directly to the source of where the power's going to, that's considered hardwired, apparently. And of course on the later models they changed the model to JVP. Of course the P means plugged, for that little plugged thing. If you're wondering what JV means, that's just James Vacuum. So this being James Vacuum Hardwired 180. And slightly going off topic, but the Henry's model number is HVR200, so that means Henry Vacuum Rewind. I'm sure a lot of you knew this already, but I just thought I'd put that out there. So anyway, it's 230 volts, 50 to 60 Hz, 1100 watts max, 850 watts IEC. Of course it does use that single fan whiny type motor that was common for them to be using in 2000, or the early 2000s I should say. So the serial number is 033105922. Of course the 0331 means that it was made in the 31st week of 2003. So the last thing I'll show you is inside the bucket. So it has a really strange motor housing there, really weird looking, but that's that. Being an early 2000s model, 2003, it has the older nylon filter. In 2004 they changed this to what they called a Tritex filter, which was a lot thicker than this. I believe they called this style filter Filtrex. I remember seeing it somewhere online on some Numatic documentation. Can't remember where I saw it now, but anyway, it's got HEPA flow on the bucket there, which has the cross moulding. But I think that's it really. That's all there is to say. So I'll demonstrate it now. Now the James doesn't have any motor sound dubbing in material, so it's pretty loud. It's not ear-piercingly loud, but it's louder certainly than the Henrys that use this same motor. So without further ado, here we go. and it makes that cheap motor sound. Not quite as bad as the Henrys that use this motor, but so there you go. So yeah, when they changed the Henrys to the ones with the push button, but still using this motor, they changed the static fan in the motor. I know that because I've opened one up and it looks different, the static fan, to the one that was in the Henrys from 2000 with the rocker switch. And they changed the air path from where the static fan sits, and the motor doesn't tend to make that noise when you cover the hose. It still does it a bit, but not as bad. So yeah, hopefully you get what I mean. I'll probably just confuse you and probably just think I'm rambling, as I always do. So let's try and wrap this up here, which is a pain in the, well, you know, in that place. See if I can do this under the, oh, never mind. I was going to say, I'll try and do this under the 12-minute mark, and I just looked at the viewfinder, and it was 12 minutes. There we go, when the cable's not coiling up, it doesn't cause you as many problems. There we go, thou shall go to the ball. Right. So anyway, there we have it, my Numatic James JVH. Slap on the wrist. There we go. JVH180. So thank you for watching.